Hey guys. So chart review for today. Today was a bit of a day in the trenches, if I'm being honest. Four trades today. Tried to limit myself to three, but I saw one that I couldn't resist at the end of the day. So I ended up the day with three trades, or three wins and one loss. So let's jump into the chart. So I was here in the morning and I had this initial uptrend um, from the overnight session. Didn't see any way to draw this tighter, but didn't really see any way to enter it on the long side. And then we start to come down in the overnight or pre-market session. And I drew this wider downtrend, which I don't know if it's accurate now, because we get to around here, around the open, and I was looking for entries to go short, but I didn't see any. And then we had this correction. Again, thinking of still to go short because I was still expecting a new low here. But again, no entry. And then we have this strong push up here. At this point, I just forgot about a new low to this downtrend. I thought I probably got this wrong. Here comes the first trade, and quite honestly, this was quite a aggressive trade, and I don't think it was a good one in hindsight. The idea, I think, was good. So I initially had this trend, and I had break new high, and then we have a lower high here. I'll just try and zoom in a little bit more. So we have this lower high here. Closes on its low, and I was thinking we're at least going to go back to the EMA, so plenty of room to scalp out. And I'd seen that we had came just above the pre-market high, so I was thinking maybe this is in a certain way a failed breakout. I get the scalp fairly quickly, but then the runner gets taken out, so no runner there. I think I got 2 ticks. But looking back, I think this probably should have been drawn something like this. Potentially like that, which would mean this was still in play when I took this lower high. So maybe lucky here. Maybe something I need to work on is the chart drawing skills. Sometimes, even especially after 2 years, it's something you can take for granted. And a lot of times I'm drawing it from the bottom, and then maybe someone else like Mac or Thomas Way, they'll have it drawn like this. So arguable here if there was a break in new high already to allow me to go short. But it won. my idea was correct. It did go back to the EMA at least. It's likely this candle here was a better trade to the long side. It's like a visual second entry long. And if this was still in play, then it's a good trade to go long. You can see it worked out very well. But I was tempted, but this idea of going short and then immediately going long again, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable. It makes me question my my judgment. So I just left it. Then we come into a part of the day which I found quite difficult to chart. I was trying a lot of the day to get this sort of spike in channel. I couldn't really get a good one to fit. I think this was about the best I could. But I think looking back now, I also had this range drawn, and I think the range that I drew later in the day was probably more correct. I was playing this spike in channel at first, and I didn't really see any entries until it gets here. And there was like a higher low followed by a failed second entry short, especially this one here. But at the time, if I move my chart like this. This is what I see. And I was thinking this is really sideways. There might be resistance at this level. Not There's enough room to scalp out, but not too much. So I skipped it. And then we just kept going sideways to up. And this is where I made my mistake. I think because I'd seen those potential setups, then we have here like a second entry long, higher low. This works as well for a scalp. And then again here we have a double trap, so the second entry fails and a third entry, and this works. But here, so then I see this happen where we correct first entry, second entry. But problem here is, and it's where I take the majority of my losses, zoom in better, is where there's no two clear legs. I usually win the second entries when it's two clear legs like that. But my main losses come where I take a trade like this, where it's a first entry, technically second entry, but there's no clear second leg of correction. It's just sideways. So I entered this and I immediately thought I'm getting... Another reason I entered was this potential support. I thought maybe we have support here. And it was just sideways to up, so maybe this is just going to go up like it did here. I was banking on a type of repeat pattern. I get ticked in, I thought I was going to get immediately stopped out, and the market was quite cruel in this one. Played with my emotions. I saw this higher low and I thought might be getting away with one here. It goes to within 2 ticks of my take profit. At this point, I thought maybe I should move the stop to break even. As soon as I thought about that, it plummeted and stopped me out. Negative's not a good trade to take. Patience ran out. Frustration at other B or C setups working. Jumping in one and they've been a loser. But on the bright side, I didn't move my stop. I forced myself to watch the loser and let it play out, and I didn't take any immediate rash decisions. The third trade was probably a rash decision. By the time we get to here, I then draw this type of range, at least trying to look for some... We're going sideways, trying to look for some support. Still maybe questionable if there was a range here. There's not... Don't I argue if there's consistent highs and lows and we keep finding support around here. So I was still playing this channel here, so I thought we now have a break. So we might be going for a test of this high. And we have this big run up here. We don't get to the highs. And this is where I try to get clever. We have first correction here, but no first entry. And then it comes down here and gives this bull bar. Closes strongly at its high, just above the EMA. Now, Mac talks about hidden second entries. So the way it moves, it looks like a second entry, but it's not, because here it didn't go above the candle. So I've tried to be clever here. And it looked like the market was going to make me pay for trying to be clever. Kick some humility into me. So it looked like it was going to stop me out, but then makes this higher low. Again, here there's 2 doji bars. I think maybe I should move this to break even +1 because the market is very indecisive. It's not a clear second entry long. But thankfully Lady Luck was on my side. I decided to take 2 points. In the end, 2.25 points on the runner. Oh, connected. So I thought maybe this would have another leg like this here up, but it didn't. I was a bit concerned then about potential range highs around here. I thought maybe try to get 5 points when this bar formed, but I stopped my runner out at a scalp. To be honest as well, by now I was getting quite frustrated by the lack of runners. Really depends on the period for me. But in the past 11 trades, having a runner really hasn't been worth it for me. I've had one runner of 5 points, but the other trades, a couple have been scalps, and others have just been break even. And it can affect negatively the math because it's already a negative risk reward strategy. And basically, if the runner gets stopped at break even, the wins are 4 contracts, but the losses are full losses on 5 contracts. So something I need to think about. Maybe for now, I might just concentrate on improving my trade selection with the scalp and not worrying about the runner. After that, and seeing I had a bit of lady luck on my side, I decided to just stop trading for the day. Or so I thought. So I left my desk, and then later in the day, I came back to my desk around here. And here, I saw that we were getting some better movement. We had a downtrend here, a couple of legs down to a new low, and again, another potential downtrend. And at this point, I'm making my dinner. Got my headphones on, I was on YouTube looking for music, had some steak on the stove, and I look at the charts because Ninja Trader was still open. I thought, oh, potential second entry short. Let's try and find reasons to take it. And normally I wouldn't have taken this because we've had a break new low on this channel. There was a leg down here. Now we've had another leg. And if I draw that quite tight, potentially we've already 2 breaks and a new low. But what I liked about it was that we had been rejecting quite strongly the EMA. And these are quite 2 broad legs of correction. And just off by 1 tick of being 2 measured legs. I wasn't too concerned about a fail or getting trapped in a failure. It didn't. When I saw this candle, I thought I'm not entering here. I went back to check my stake, came back to the desk or my notebook, and saw that this candle formed. And I thought, well, look at that rejection of the EMA. Might be good for a scalp, but I shouldn't be doing this. I told myself 3 trades maximum in a day and walk away. And if this had lost, it would have just been a horrible feeling on the day to have went from slightly green to a red normal day or normal lost day. So I can't be doing that. If it's the end of my trade, if I decide to walk away for the day, I have to walk away for the day. But in any case, I even decided to go for 3 points here. The market at the time I thought was moving a bit more quicker, it was moving quicker. And I thought I could get 3 points. Or I thought price would at least come down to here. Mac does say that sometimes after break new extreme, depending on the context, there'll be another leg down. For some reason, I was confident about this, but I'm not Mac, so I shouldn't be trying to outsmart the market. But maybe I should not be too hard on myself because price actually did what I expected, or what I thought. And we made the 3-point scalp. At first, when this candle closed here, I did whisper to myself, oh no, because it would have taken me out for my usual 2 points of scalp, but it got to with 1 tick of my 3-point target this time and closed. But thankfully it continued down on the next candle. And yeah, rather ironically, if I'd had a runner here and trailed the candles, I could have got almost a 10-point runner. So lady luck there, but I'll take the scalp, full scalp, 3 points on 5 contracts. That's fine. So yeah, P&L wise, it was good today, but um, a lot of again a lot of lessons I need to take away and learn from, because these are all lessons that I've already learned or I should have learned. And I really need to force myself to put into practice what I'm learning emotionally, mentally. I don't know if I explained before. Let's see if I can reconnect. So yeah, because I was throwing money like there was no tomorrow at prop firms, and I had really bad skill issues in handling losses, not moving my stop, and just blowing evals, PAs. After I would go on that, I would have 2-3 weeks of good trading, and then in one 5-minute rage after a loss, blow everything. And I just couldn't keep throwing resources at evals or PAs. I decided to go back to Sim and just say aim for $6,000, which is the target of a Tradeify 100k account. And during that process, improve my trade selections and make sure that I can take a loss and not move a stop loss, not tilt, and technically keep the account alive. The target's 6k. I'm at 2k now after 6 days of trading. But yeah, not trying to concentrate on this PA or P&L. Not trying to rush it, thinking, oh, I need to get back to prop firms. I need to. I'm on Sim. It doesn't matter. I need to get there. As Max says, if you're struggling, go back to Sim and hone in the skills. And once you feel ready, trade micros or in my case, go back to a prop firm. That's where we are after today. So yeah, good progress P&L wise, but lots to think about from the actual trading. So thanks for tuning in again, and see you next time. Bye bye.